Egypt's election authority says overseas voting for the 2025 House elections is underway in 117 countries. Egypt elected to UNESCO's executive board at the General Conference in Samarkand. And Standard & Poor's upgrades Egypt's credit rating from B- to B with a stable outlook. Egypt's National Election Authority says overseas voting for the 2025 House elections is underway across 117 countries with 1,139 polling sites, following full coordination with the Foreign Ministry. The NEA says its Central Operations Room is in direct contact with ambassadors chairing overseas polling committees in 117 countries. By 10 a.m. Cairo local time, 105 sites had opened, with Los Angeles scheduled as the last to open today. The authority says embassies received training on managing polling and upgraded IT systems linked to the voter database, enabling verification via the 14-digit national ID. This phase covers citizens registered in the 14 governorates of Stage 1. In Kuwait, overseas voting began at 9 a.m. Friday, marking the first day of balloting for Egyptians abroad. The Central Operations Room of the National Election Authority, the NEA, headed by Judge Ahmed Bindari, held a press conference at the authority's headquarters to inform the public of the latest developments regarding the start of voting on the first day of Egyptians' elections abroad. Judge Ahmed Bindari, head of the NEA's Central Operations Room, held a video conference call with the heads of the subcommittees abroad, including ambassadors and members of diplomatic missions, to brief the public on updates concerning the commencement of voting on the first day of the Egyptians' elections abroad. The Egyptian consulate in Dubai reported a strong turnout as expatriates cast ballots in the House of Representatives elections, with voting proceeding smoothly in coordination with the United Arab Emirates authorities. Egyptians in the UAE continued arriving at the consulate in Dubai to vote in the overseas phase of the House elections. Consular officials say procedures are orderly with ballot boxes in place and staff facilitating access and flow. The mission, working with the United Arab Emirates authorities, had arranged entry guidance and queue management to keep the process moving. The turnout underscores expatriate engagement with the electoral process as overseas voting gets underway. Members of the Egyptian community in Riyadh have been flocking to the Egyptian embassy since the start of the voting process this morning to cast their ballots in the House of Representatives election. The embassy has ensured that all necessary facilities are available to voters and has made all required preparations for the electoral process in cooperation with the Saudi authorities to make it easier for Egyptians in Riyadh to cast their votes and choose their candidates in the parliamentary elections. The National Election Authority announced the start of the electoral silence period in the 14 governorates included in the first phase of Egypt's House of Representatives elections. Councillor Ahmed El-Bindari, director of the executive body of the NEA, confirmed that the authority's monitoring committees have not recorded any violations of the electoral campaigning rules by any parties or candidates since the beginning of the silence period. Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati emphasized the importance of consolidating the Sharm el-Sheikh peace agreement and moving forward to the second phase of US President Donald Trump's plan. During a phone call with UK Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper, the minister also reviewed Egypt's preparations to host the International Conference for Reconstruction and Early Recovery in Gaza, which is set to take place in Egypt. Ministry of Foreign Affairs praised the decision of the Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions Subcommittee on Accreditation to retain the classification of the National Council for Human Rights to maintain the Council's A status. The ministry confirmed that the decision is a step that reflects confidence in the Council's independence, effectiveness, and relentless efforts in promoting and protecting human rights in their comprehensive concept. Minister of Civil Aviation Sameh Al-Hifni presided over the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, an MOU, with the US, which includes an American grant for the aviation sector by providing advanced security screening equipment at Cairo International Airport. The minister emphasized that Egypt places great importance on civil aviation safety and security, noting that the signing of the MOU reflects the strength of bilateral relations between Egypt and the United States in the field of civil aviation. Egypt has been elected to the Executive Board of UNESCO during elections held at the organization's General Conference in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. This victory represents a renewal of Egypt's current membership on the board, reflecting the international community's deep appreciation for Egypt's historic and cultural contributions in the field of culture, science, and education, as well as its active role in UNESCO in protecting heritage and human civilization. Minister of Planning and International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashat emphasized the strong focus on encouraging the flow of capital from Algeria to invest in numerous promising opportunities in Egypt, taking advantage of the favorable investment climate. During her meeting with Mohammed Soufiane Bara, the Algerian ambassador to Egypt, the two sides discussed preparations for the upcoming business forum between the two countries as part of the joint the private sectors of both countries. The Grand Egyptian Museum Authority announced that all tickets for today's visits have been sold, with the number of visitors reaching the museum's maximum operational capacity for the day. Accordingly, the museum administration has suspended ticket reservations and sales for today only, both through the official online booking system and at the ticket counters at the museum's gate. Ticket booking will resume tomorrow, Saturday, November 8th, 2025. The Pyramids Plateau in Giza witnessed a massive public turnout today, Friday, after the Grand Egyptian Museum announced it had reached full capacity. Hundreds of visitors who were unable to enter the museum headed instead to the pyramids area, considered the nearest and ideal alternative to continue their sightseeing tours. The area surrounding the pyramids was filled with tourist buses and student trips as visitors enjoyed the pleasant autumn weather and marveled at the grandeur of ancient Egyptian civilization. TripAdvisor, one of the world's largest online travel and tourism platforms, announced that actual booking rates for the Egyptian market have grown by 44% since the beginning of the year to date. During a meeting with TripAdvisor officials on the sidelines of his participation in the World Travel Market, the WTM 2025 in London, Tourism and Antiquities Minister Sharif Fathi discussed the ongoing cooperation between Egypt and the platform, which is steadily advancing towards shared goals of enhancing Egypt's digital presence on global travel platforms. Egypt's sovereign credit rating was upgraded from B- to B, with a stable outlook by Standard & Poor's. The Cabinet's Media Center explained that the upgrade reflects an improvement and positive development within the rating category, alongside a reduction in credit risks related to the government's ability to fully and timely meet its financial obligations. The Suez Canal Economic Zone has welcomed a $70 million investment as El Swedi Industrial Development signed a contract with China's Zinmin Glass Company to build a glassware factory within Sukhna 360. The facility, covering more than 163,000 square meters, will produce Pyrex and glass tableware with an annual capacity exceeding 516 million units. The project is set to generate over 1,000 direct and 3,000 indirect jobs once completed in 3 phases. The Suez Canal Economic Zone Chairman Walid Gamal-Eddin said the zone continues to attract global investors thanks to its integrated infrastructure, industrial diversity, and streamlined services. He highlighted the glass sector's potential to boost local manufacturing, increase export value, and enhance Egypt's competitiveness. Egypt's chemical and fertilizer exports rose 10% to $6.85 billion in January-September 2025, part of a broader 20% increase in non-oil exports to $37.8 billion. According to the Export Council for Chemical Industries and Fertilizers, fertilizers led growth with a 9% rise, followed by plastics at 3% and petrochemicals at 33%, with adhesives at 45% and dry cells at 75% also surging. Top markets included Turkey, Italy, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and Spain, accounting for 62% of sector exports. Regionally, the EU took 41%, Arab League 22%, non-Arab Asia 17%, Africa 6%, and the US 2%. Al Ahly will meet Zamalek in the final local Super Cup next Sunday at Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium in the United Arab Emirates, with kick-off scheduled for 5:30 p.m. Cairo local time. The winning team of the Egyptian Super Cup will receive $300,000, while the runner-up will earn $200,000. Additionally, Al Ahly, Zamalek, Pyramids, and Ceramica Cleopatra will each receive $50,000 for participating in the tournament. Top stories making headlines this hour. Egypt's election authority says overseas voting for the 2025 House elections is underway in 117 countries. Egypt elected to UNESCO's executive board at the General Conference in Samarkand. And Standard & Poor's upgrades Egypt's credit rating from B- to B with a stable outlook. For more stories and live updates, follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Qnews EGY. From all of us here, many thanks for watching and stay tuned for more news and analysis on Qnews.